Hello, good morning, and welcome to Inside Nigeria on Leadership Podcast. My name is Taka David, your host on today's edition of Inside Nigeria. Inside Nigeria is a program where we discuss some of the front page stories in the biggest national dailies in the country. And we'll start with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, the Leadership, and its sister publication, the National Economy, and then we'll look at other papers and then discuss every other issue that concerns this country. And we need to discuss some of the stories on today's edition is Dr. Yusuf Idris, who is joining us virtually. Dr. Idris, can you hear me?
Good morning. I can hear you, but it's faint.
All right. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Dr. Idris is the National Coordinator, African Network for Ideal Democracy. So with me, we'll be discussing some of the big stories, and then we'll look at some national issues. I will start with the leadership, and then we're looking at some of the lead stories here, and it's on politics. And our lead story here is the PDP crisis. After Abuja Pali with Atiku, Wike, Makinde, Otom, Ikwezu, Ogwanye meet weigh options. And then there are riders to that story. And we have other lead stories there. And then you look slightly just above the nameplate, we have another political story. Then the matching issue in Yobe. APC's planned appeal, waste of time. That's according to lawyers. Then El-Rufai condemns lynching of two headers in Birnin Gwari. Then below the headline, below the nameplate, we have a business story. 32.5% CRI. That's CBN takes out 7 trillion naira from banks' vault. That's the business. To get details of these stories, you go to leadership, website. I get details of these stories. And then you come down, there are other stories. Crisis in CCB as commissioners accuse chairman of blocking investigation. You just come down. Good. There's a promo story there. Declare your assets before leaving office. That's according to Sarah. Sarah is now telling Buhari to declare his assets. In Nigeria, you must declare your assets before you aspire for any political office. And when you're leaving, we should know. So we have a host of other lead stories on that. Let's look at the national economy and see the big stories. All right. This day leads with another political story. Tinubu rolls back, says he's fit and ready to serve Nigeria. These are interesting times. Then, below the nameplate, Atiku, 2023 is choice between new direction and those who want to sustain current disaster. To get details, you go to their website. But, I have someone in the house who is going to discuss some of these stories. And I would like to go back to leadership, where I'll ask him his comment on the lead story. Yes, Dr. Yusuf, if you can hear me, after the Abuja Pali, now the five PDP governors have gone again to meet in Enugu, and then they are weighing, according to this story, they are weighing their options. What is your take on this kind of story coming at this time? Dr. Yusuf. Back. Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last word.
Inside Nigeria, keeping you informed on what matters.
All right, you're welcome back to Inside Nigeria. My name is Taka David, your host. Today, on today's edition, we're looking at some of the front page stories on our national dailies. And next on our line here is the National Economy, our sister publication. And the lead story, turbulence in the skies. Nigeria's aviation sector battles lingering huge indebtedness to foreign airlines, high cost of aviation fuel, forex scarcity, among others. That's the lead story. If you're the type that loves to fly, this should concern you, and you should want to read this kind of story. And then we move to the next story, Nigeria's economy at 62, lessons from the past for better future. You should also want to read this kind of story because we just celebrated our 62nd independence. Talent drain threatens Nigeria's booming tech industry. Of course, you should know that. These are the kind of stories that we should want to read and know what is going on. What higher MPR, CRR mean for bank customers? These are some of the stories I made the day on a national daily. All right, Mr. Yusuf, Dr. Yusuf joined us from his home. I know we're having a little issues with the network, but I'm sure you can hear me now.
Yes, I can hear you clearly, loud and clear.
All right. So I would like to get your thoughts on the lead story on the leadership. The story where 5 governors went to meet in Enugu. When they met at Enugu, they were weighing some of their options. So I would like to get your thoughts at this time of day where we've commenced, the campaigns have commenced, and then the PDP is also, instead of going out to campaign, we're having this kind of battle internally. So I'd like to get your thoughts on that story.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning, all. Yeah, Wike, Makinde, Otom, and other governors that met at Enugu. Yeah, the internal crisis has been there, but it seems not to be resolved. But then they are weighing their options and see what could come out of it because Wike has been saying that he's fighting for equity and justice in the party. But it seems the presidential aspirants and the chairman of the PDP are not listening to him. They need to look inward and see what they can do about the crisis. If there's anything to go about their campaign and they are really ready to go into this election. But then Wike has made his stand known to everyone. This is what he's fighting for, and the cause is just for justice. So my thoughts is let them look into the crisis. If they cannot resolve it, it means they are not ready for the elections. We have other parties that are trying to settle their internal crisis.
That's interesting. If they cannot solve their internal crisis, that means they are not ready for the election.
Yeah, they are not ready.
That is just for this. But we seem to have this kind of thing in other political parties, but we'll get to those ones when we go to other papers. When you go to this day leads with another political story. Tinubu rolls back, says he's fit and ready to serve Nigeria. There have been concerns about his health, age, and all this about his capacity to even run this kind of complex society. And we're looking at the video that was circulated yesterday that went viral. What would you say as the national coordinator of your organization?
Last time we spoke extensively about his health. I made my opinion known that this health issue is all about social media and is highly overemphasized. If you see it, Asiwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu attending meeting from one place to another, from the north down to the east to the south, Lagos State, Abuja. In fact, if you read about his story, he has only 4 hours to rest in a day. So I don't think the health issue is to me, and but for to my personal conviction and to other people that I've met, Tinubu is healthy and he can actually handle the complex nation based on his experience and mental capability. We need this experience now, not to go to the gym or go to football player. He has a lot of people that he has grown that can help him to run in the field. While he's still there, strategize, use his experience, mental capability, and use his tools to set the economic running and to set the government running right from day one. Hello? Hello?
Yeah, okay,
Hello?
yeah, you're using. Yes, I can hear you. I can hear you. You know, you said something about his health and age not being an obstacle at a time where we peg the entry edge for job seekers. Why should we make it open for our political leaders to come at whatever age or health condition that they are?
Hello? Yeah, the line's
Dr. Yusuf,
breaking.
can you hear me?
Hello?
Yeah, I said
Hello?
at a
I can
time
hear
where
you
we've
now.
pegged the entry, there's age limits for entry points for job seekers. Why should we not have a age limit for political office seekers? And why should we also not give
In,
consent to
in,
their
in,
health condition, health status?
in, yeah, interestingly, we have not had that in I don't know anywhere in the country that the age for political appointees or political office has been given age limits, especially in
Yeah, I
Nigeria
know it's
and in
not. I'm
Africa.
asking you if we can have age limits for
Yeah.
job seekers. And then, you know, our civil servants retire at 60. Why should they now, after retirement, go to lead us when we have able, you know, some agile youths who can actually take these offices? Why are we not mentoring them to come
Why?
and take over?
Yeah, we maybe in the future we can actually do that, and it's going to be good for us. But presently we don't have anything of such. And then when we are talking about health status, we are talking in time of Asuwaju Ahmed Bola Tinubu now. I believe he's healthy, and I believe he can actually rule the country.
Okay, all right. That's a good one from you there. Well, the video to some extent went to clear some of the things, and there's another, you know, punch also is all on politics and the PDP crisis. Aggrieved governors meet in Enugu, plot Ayu's removal. Wike Makinde or some others review articles conditions. Ayu cannot resign until next year. That's a senator insisted. Then PDP, not Ayu, paid National Working Committee members housing allowances. You know, Dr. Yusuf, yes, some days back we had controversies of people returning, some of the National Working Committee members of PDP returning huge sums of money allegedly paid for their housing allowances and the rest. Should that bother
Yes.
any Nigerian at a time where we have the party trying to wrestle powers from the ruling All Progressive Congress?
In fact, Nigerians are already. If you go to the grassroots, where there is hunger everywhere, it bothers Nigerians. Why some people are there, housing allowance running in millions. Why some people cannot even afford the house rents of average Nigerian of 250, 400,000, and someone is getting housing allowance of running in millions. People are really concerned. And most of these people that they paid, so they are returning it because they cannot substantiate, they cannot, I don't know, they cannot prove why that should be done. Most of them. And that's why you see them returning it. And you can see the anti-grad, you can see You can see the comments all over everywhere. Most of them have actually said, okay, if we get it, we'll return it instantly. I will see in the case of most people have returned theirs. Is Nigeria is crying, and I don't think you see any reason why all this should be happening at a time that we are close to election, and you actually want your party to rescue power from the ruling party. I don't think that should be what should be done right now. My own
All
personal
right.
opinion.
Thank you for your thoughts on that. You know,
Yeah.
um, on Saturday, we marked our 62nd independence. So looking at, and then at a time where we are in a year where we are transitioning from one administration to the other, we have people seeking political offices. At 62, first of all, I want you to, first of all, call Nigeria as a nation, and then you now give me the way forward.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
I said
yeah. Take that again.
we marked our 62nd independence on Saturday.
Right,
So
yeah.
now we are in a year where we are trying to transition from one administration to the other. Campaigns have already started. Now
Yes.
I want to hear from you. Give me your own. I want you to score Nigeria for us. You know, we expect a lot. We've got some. We've not gotten some.
Yeah.
What is the way forward? First of all, I want you to give me your own scorecard of this nation.
If I'm to say, in Nigeria, we still have a long way to go, a very long way to go. But in the past, we have tried our best as a citizen. But then, the leadership, we still have a lot to do. Our leadership still have a lot to do in time of governance, in time of dividends of democracy. We still have a long way to go.
And what are those areas you think we should start working on if we actually want to achieve the Nigeria of our dreams? What are those areas we should focus on
Yeah, if we actually want to achieve the Nigeria of our dream, the leaders need to be sincere, and they need to be sincere in whatever activities they are carrying out. Look at, for instance, in time of agri, loan are made for farmers are not getting down to the farmers that need them, of which the sector are much conversant with. Look at this nicer loan. We heard about it. The farmer that need it are not getting it. Most people that are actually getting it are not usually use it into farms. So their policies are good, but the implementation is not being followed, is not being done the right way it's supposed to do. And then we have whole lots to do. Look at security. Security is we have totally almost failed in time of security, and we need to look internally. We need to look into our security agency. The architecture need to be looked into, and look at our economic. Look, today now, if you can see naira to dollar, it's not something we can be talking about. We are not producing. How do we expect to stabilize our naira?
You know,
Hello?
the issue of naira to dollar, it's another big issue that worries every Nigerian. But you talked about security and
Yeah.
our leadership. We are in the electioneering period. What are those qualities that you think Nigerians should look out for when they want to select the next leader or the next set of leaders that will govern this country? What are those qualities that we should be looking out for?
Yes, the quality of leadership we should be looking out for. We should all go back and look at their track records. What have they done before? How have they handled their fear of where they have handled before? We cannot afford to put Nigeria into the hand of those that will come to experiment. We need to look into their track record. We need to go back to each of them, goes back to right from their local government level to the state level, and then at national level. What are their contribution? What have they done so far? How have they been able to manage their states? And then we'll be able to know if the person is experienced enough, he has the managemental skill to actually rule the country, and then the mental capability. What are the strategy? What are the developmental approach has they used before? And then we use all these yardstick. We can even call them for debates, and we'll let them tell us what they are going to do, and not just what they are going to do. How are they going to do it? How are they intend to achieve what they tell us that they want to do? Because most people that will just come out that we have a 5 point agenda. We are going to focus on agri. We are going to focus on say, insecurity. How are you going to do it? We need them to highlight all those things. So that is the area I think we should take them on to know who we are going to allow to handle the affair.
All right. Okay, so Nigerians are watching. They've heard the kind of leaders that you think can actually turn around the fortunes of this country. Well,
Yes.
we still have more to go on this edition. Dr. Yusuf, if you can still hear me, still on
Yeah, I can hear
the
you.
way forward for this country. You complain bitterly about insecurity, even though this government has made a lot of investments, try to rejuvenate the the armament, the military's arsenal to against the insurgency. Why are we still not getting it right? This is almost how many months now that the Abuja Kaduna train victims were kidnapped and they are still there. Despite government investment in security, why haven't we gotten it right?
Yes, there are popular saying that if don't let me say because we're on the air now. I think if we are truly sincere about the investment that have gone into the security, we have tried. And I want us to know that we are not only facing internal security problem. Our borders are porous. Look at most people they've had a encounter with. Most of them are non-Nigerian. And if you actually want to tackle security, you need to look beyond your internal security. We have the intelligence agency that are gathering information. We need to know which of those countries surrounding that are having alliance with those bad elements, the bandits, the Boko Haram, and see how we can resolve it. We need to we need to dialogue, not with the terrorists, but those that may be involved.
Okay, you talked about porous borders. As a nation, should
Yeah.
nationals of other countries just walk into Nigeria and commit any crime and go without any? If we were actually serious about this, our fight against insecurity, should people just walk into Nigeria without
Yes,
documentation and just commit
if
any crime
if
and
you
go
are
scot free?
if it shouldn't be, but you can see it's happening. So unfortunately, it's happening.
So,
So
so if
we,
it
we,
is
we, are, we
happening,
have not
I
done
want
so
a way
well in
out.
that regard.
What do we need to do? Because we've not really convicted a lot of persons involved in this whole issue of insurgency and other threats. Over time, we've had mob actions because the government seems not to give people justice. So, what is the way forward?
That is why we
How
say
do
we
we get out
need
of this?
sincerity. Yeah, we need them to be more sincere. Thank God we are going to change an administration now. So those that are aspiring to the position of offices, we need to engage them. How are they going to tackle this insecurity? Because it's something that is of concern to everyone. Look at those in the grassroots; they can't even go to farm. And very soon, if I may tell you, if we are not careful, there's going to be food insecurity. And when there's food insecurity, there's bound to be crisis everywhere. People that are not ordinarily will not carry an arm. When they are hungry, they can do and undo. So we just have to engage our leaders. Let them even have to sign agreement. If I get there, this is what I'm going to do. these are how I'm going to do it. If you are not able to do it, unfortunately, we have had issues when they said they are going to do this, even though there's an agreement, they better not to, I don't know. We still have a lot to do. We just need to engage them. We need to engage them.
Uh, we keep talking about the leaders. What about the civil servants who are supposed to be driving the government architecture? We have not really had people, like I said, being convicted for various crimes. We've pardoned a lot of insurgents. We have a lot of people, and okay, we've in fact we've even gone to give some bandits. Some bandits were warlords, traditional titles, and all these things. Should we be doing that if we were a government that is serious against all these things? Should the government look the
I've
other
told you
way?
earlier, yeah, there are a whole lot of way they can handle it, but they've not they've they've not really handled it well the way it's expected. So
That
we
means
need a lot need to be done.
no political will to actually go after the people that are committing all these atrocities against Nigeria and Nigerian citizens.
Thank you. We have not been sincere over the period.
Okay.
That's what I can
All
do.
right.
They're
All
supposed
right.
to be
I've been
sincerity.
discussing with
They have not been
Dr.
sincerity.
Idris Yusuf, the national coordinator. Dr. Yusuf is the national coordinator, African Network for Ideal Democracy. And we're discussing Nigeria at 62, the way forward. And he has said a lot of things. First of all, he gave you guidelines on how you choose the right leader moving forward. And we now dived into some issues that had to do with security, where he was talking about porous borders and the rest. These are things we know already. But he summed it up all that we're not sincere, we're not serious. That means there's no political will to actually go after those who commit crimes against Nigerians. Well, we've taken a lot. Dr. Yusuf, if you're still with us, we said something about Dr. Yusuf. Okay, there was a mob action yesterday in Kaduna. I don't know if you've read that story. I want to take you
No,
out of
I
this
haven't.
place. Oh, you haven't read? There was a mob action in Kaduna where two headers were lynched in Birinigwari. And this is an area we're talking about insecurity. This is an area that has been ravaged by, in fact, it's been years now that we've been having all these bandits attacks and the rest in Birinigwari axis. It has become one of the hotbeds of insecurity. And then the residents, the community, the people within the community lynched two headers. They gave their own reasons. But over time, like we were talking about, people not getting justice. People are being killed, people are being kidnapped, they've paid people, they've gone as much as paying taxes to those people. And then they suspect somebody of being a part of a particular gang, and then they were lynched. Should we go that way if we had a government in power, if we have a government in power like we have now? All right, I think I'm having issues trying to reconnect to Dr. Yusuf. But, well, if Nigerians were to get justice anytime they go to the security agency, I don't think most people will take the law into their hands going to lynch someone. Dr. Yusuf, if you can hear me, but if you can't hear me, all right, I've been discussing with Dr. Idris Yusuf. He's the National Coordinator, African Network for Ideal Democracy. And we looked at some of the big stories that made headlines, discussed, and he has given you a lot of insight into those stories. And when we discussed Nigeria at 62, he gave you the way out. Now the dice is in your court. You have the ball now. You decide who becomes the next president, and the person will give you the manifesto. You listen to them, you compare, and then you go after. You choose whoever you think will make this country a better one for all of us. Thank you very much for staying with us. My name is Taka David, your host, and that is the much you can take on today's edition of Inside Nigeria.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.